Hi, this is Robin Sampson with BibleJournalLove.com and HeartOfWisdom.com. Today I'm going to Bible Journal digitally, and I thought you'd like to look over my shoulder. I'm doing this for a class that I'm teaching called Bible Journaling Through the 12 Bible Eras. And this is one of the things I do in every class. Besides a video lesson, a video lesson of Bible study, we also get a video lesson on how to Bible journal digitally. So this is one of the classes. Join us. Okay, I'm going to work in the Bible template, and I'm going to cut and paste some text from Genesis 1 into the Bible template. And I'm going to use Helvetica font size 9, and that should fit. This is the full-size Bible template. Sometimes it's different because sometimes I change the size of the template. And we want to left justify that. And I'm a little short. I need to go back and get a little bit more text. This is the Genesis 1, the days of creation. And I'm going to do something a little different. I've already done the numbers in the days of creation in the Bible, and I already did 3 circles on each side of the page. So what I thought I'd do this time is try to do something else with the numbers. With the circles. So I put the rest of the text in there. That's kind of tricky to get text in after you've already pasted some text. It wants to add another text layer. So usually I have to make it bigger to get in there. And the way I make my page bigger is I click Command-Shift and the plus sign on my computer on a Mac, and you would hit Control-Shift and the plus sign on a Windows. It's finally getting the text in there correctly. And then I like to go back through the text now and fix it up a little bit. I bold the title, and I make the first letter of the verse, of the chapter, which is 1 here, bigger. And then I remove all the little symbols because I don't like them there. There's 2 ways you can remove these symbols. If you do a spell check, that'll help you find them pretty quick. I usually just go over it like this because I'm kind of semi-reading the text as I go and still getting more of the verses in as I browse through looking for the little extra letters and numbers. I always think I have them all, and then I do a spell check and find out a couple that I missed. And that's pretty easy. You just go through and you can see a letter that doesn't fit. Okay. Now, usually when I'm doing one side of the Bible, I go ahead and drag and drop my images to the blank side so I can play with them over there. I've been using Lingo to help me with to store my images, and Lingo's been crashing on me regular, so I'm using the Finder in Mac now. Now I bring all these in full size, and I wanted to show you a few things here. For example, when you're on your layers, you can select all those layers and resize them at the same time. You can either drag and drop the bounding box to resize them, or you can go up here at the top and resize them by a percentage. I think I try 30 and 20%. You just do one side and then you click the link, and it'll automatically, like I'm correcting the width, and then it automatically corrects the height when I click the link. Now I'm going to go lock the other layers, because if I don't, I'm going to be moving them all around. You can only lock layers that are showing, so it's giving me a hard time here because I was trying to lock a whole bunch of layers that weren't showing. If you lock each one of those, that'll save you a lot of time from moving things out of space. And then I'm going to put the overlay and use a clipping mask to clip it to the page. You can drag things down on your layers, or you can use the bracket key to move them up and down. Now that's clipped, and I'm going to lock that layer. Now let's go over here and remove the wording off of each one of these circles, because with what I want to do, they'll be in the way. The first thing I have to do is select each of them. I'm making them a little bit smaller now. And now I have to rasterize all of them, because if they're not rasterized, you are unable to make any changes to them. They're kind of like locked, and you can't make any changes until you rasterize the layer. I was staggering them to see if I would like 3 in one row and 3 in another, but overlapping, and I'm not real crazy about it. But while I have them over here, I'm going to go ahead and rasterize all layers at once. Time saving, do them all at one time. Now choose one at a time. I don't have one at a time chosen, so that's not going to do anything. Now I'm using the eraser tool, and do you see here, let me explain something. Do you see how it's going really slow? It's because I had it at 49%, so now I put it at 100%, and now it works much better. So I'm going to use this little rectangle marquee to select and delete, and then we'll do each one. Day 3, just select, and then go back to the cursor, and then delete. Select day 4, delete, day 5, marquee, pointer, delete, and day 6. Now I'm going to see if I can rearrange them to something that I like better. I'm using the tools up at the top to align. I choose 3 and then align them, and then made them the same amount of space, distribute space evenly, and then I do the other 3 and do the same thing, and I still don't like it. But this is what you do. You play. Move things around until you get them to where you do like them. And now I'm realizing that these are small enough that I don't need to stagger them. I can put them in one straight line. So I'm going to line them all up evenly. Go ahead and put them on this side. I want to get rid of, go ahead and crop this page because you can't see everything I'm doing. So when I select them all, I can move them and size them all at one time. I've got to ungroup the layers so I can do things with them. And now I've aligned all of them in one place, and now I pull one down and then keep them all selected and use the distribute. And that gets them in a better position, and I like this. So I'm thinking this is the way I'm going to go with this. And now I'm going to put a shadow on them. These are some shadows that I've saved. I can show you how to do that. Once you get a shadow that you really like, you save it and hang on to it. And now I want to use these labels, and the problem is these labels are see-through, and when you put those over that blue, they're not going to stand out as much. So when I get them the correct size, I want to put a small white rectangle underneath each one so that they stand out better. They're still not small enough. And I always do those together because I want my labels to be the same size. If I moved one, sized it, and then sized another one later, they're going to be different sizes and wonky looking. Now they look fine here because they're over the white, but as soon as I move them over to the blue, see, you lose the label effect. So we're going to draw a small white rectangle on top of the label, and be careful to make sure we know which one, what it's on top of, so that you can move it underneath the label. And now we're going to select both of them and merge. First we group. I check to make sure I've got the right one. And then I right-click and go to Merge Group. And I rename it Light and Dark so I can see at a glance where it is. And that's easy to drag across those things because they're all locked and it won't hurt them. Okay, I'm going to speed this up a little bit because you don't want to watch me put every single little rectangle on there. And then I'm going to line up all the labels onto the circles. And I'm trying to find a place where it looks good on each one, but I want them to be distanced the same amount apart too. I really like these little flowers. It's a little flower doodle. So I'm going to put that on the bottom. Tuck it slightly. And you don't put a drop shadow on a doodle because it's a doodle. It has no drop shadow. We can put a teeny drop shadow on the labels. It's going to be a real small one though. That looks fine. Now I'd like to get a leaf. And I'm going to show you something I think would be really cute with a leaf. This is one of the really neat things about digital. I only have this one leaf. But first I'm going to tuck it. It's going to go underneath and peek out. And then I'm going to put one. You hit Command J on a Mac, Control J on a PC, and that duplicates it. And I'll make this one a little bit bigger. Now I'm going to make another one. Command J. Let's make it a little bit bigger. Now I'm going to select all three of them, and I'm going to hit Command J or Control J on a PC, and I have duplicated all three of them, and just drag it up here, and you can see I'm making like a little vine, and it looks like these circles are going up on a vine. And I'm going to drag some down here. And when I'm all done, I'm going to give them all shading or shadows at the same time. So there you go. We'll group them. And then I think the word Genesis is in here. Yeah, there it is. And because this is word art that looks more like a sticker, it can have a small shadow. Drop shadow. Yep, that looks good. And usually, let me go back. On this drop shadow, the only two things I usually mess with is the distance and the size. Very occasionally the spread, if it's a butterfly or something. But usually just the distance is only 2 and the size is only 8, because this is a word art. It's not going to stick up too much. It's just barely there. So now you could stick a few flowers to give that some color. And here again, we take one flower. Let's duplicate it and spin it around. Duplicate it and make it too tiny. And 3 is something that you'll learn in we'll learn in another class. It's really good to do things in groups of 3. So there's 3, and they make like a little triangle. Let's do 3 more down here. And I really like that look. Now one more thing that I would like to do here, and that is I'm going to use this green from Genesis and use a brush. I want to put some circles around the days. So the thing about using the brush is you always have, and it takes me a while to learn this and to remember this, to add a new layer. If you don't add a new layer, the circle will go on to another element or image, and you don't want that. So create a new layer, and what I chose here, the brush I chose, is this circle. And I've made it 300 because that looks like what it's going to fit. And here I'm going to click a few times to circle the first day. And because that's on its own layer, I can hit Command T or Control T on a PC and shorten it up a little bit. So let's make a new layer and do another one and find the second day. And then I can do another layer and do third day. Now I can make this brush smaller by hitting the bracket. There's the third day, but I want to go up back to the second day and shorten it a little bit. And one of these lessons I'm going to show you how to put the inductive Bible study symbols in here. It's really cool. Go back, get the brush, add a new layer, Believe me, you'll forget to add layers. Make it bigger by clicking the other bracket, the right bracket. And I don't think the 5th day is on here. It's not. I just found a... Can't fix it because it's locked. And I think I saw one up on the top I want to get rid of too. Yeah. Okay, let me lock it back. So you know what would also might look good is if I added some yellow to the circles. So I'm going to use this little dry brush here. Go back up and add another layer. I'm going to get a yellow. And just color in that a little bit. And then I make that multiply, and you can see right through it. So all the ones that you add now are multiplied. Now this all is on one layer. So if I wanted to, I don't like it and I wanted to take it off, I would just take off that one layer. But I do like it, so I'm going to leave it. And I'll put the background down. I still have room if I wanted to do a few more things, but I think that's all I'm going to do for now. So ask me some questions in the Facebook group and tell me if there's something that you didn't understand, or send me a message through Facebook Instant Message, and I will answer the questions on the Facebook Live video. So I'll see you later. I hope this works out for you. I hope you enjoy it. Bye-bye. Can't wait to see your pages.